Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ & Sons and our Let's Play Planet Coaster series, where we have got what we covered in the live stream done on Twitch from Saturday. This is just pretty much as we've done before, sped up recording of it. Now, I did play the creation of the quarry zone previously, but this is the first time we've gone over any of the kind of more decorating that we've done with the with our inverted coaster, the COBRA. So, what are we really doing in this episode? Kind of showing off what was done in the last episode out there on YouTube with the quarry, the lockers being built. We do make some changes to the inverted coaster, nothing major though. Primarily it's just coloring changes. And so, we do go over that. Now, these lockers, as I mentioned in the last episode, I'm not sure who created them. I kept trying to remember. I just don't remember. They are out of the workshop, though. They look incredible. And so, that's kind of where that stands. But I think overall everything is coming together pretty good for this. I don't even know if I want to call it an opening area. The entrance plaza will be touched today, as you kind of see some minor construction going on over there with the shops that are up. But this quarry section that we got built in with the swings and that other, I forgot what that ride is called, to be honest with you, the one that spins you around in a circle upside down. I just forgot what it's called. So, I will say this though, if you do have suggestions for ride names, please feel free to put those into the comments, and we will create a sign for them, and we'll get them input in. We'll make sure it's put into the game. So definitely put that down in the comments if you have an idea. Now, the real things that we're working on in this episode is going to be the exit building for the COBRA. And so, as you see, we put the TV screens up. There's 8 screens, one for each car on the train for the inverted coaster. I did go with green just because it seems, the COBRA is more of a foresty type thing, so that's what we decided to go with, was a green countertop, white base. Pretty basic, pretty simple. Nothing too fantastic about it. This time I am smart enough, however, to find the registers in the TMTK items that we have. Before, I waited way too long to do that, but this time I add them in. And then I go back and add the one little computer screen, mainly just for the fact that, hey, this was essentially kind of what the register would look like. It is on a swivel point. You have the manual register and then the computer screen entry that goes along with most registers. That's most common these days. So we do have those. There will be nothing displayed on those, but the pictures will be on the others that are up against the back wall for you to purchase. Now, another thing that we are going to work on building is part of this. It's a small little gift shop, right? Like every exit building is basically a small little gift shop. So that's what we go ahead and start putting in. We want to make this, it's not as big as it is for our other B&M ride, right? It's not as big as it is for Professor Chaos, but we still wanted to make sure that we got some gift shops items in there and so forth. I do think about hanging up some shirts since we do have a wall hanger for them, but I decided against that in the end. Just not a whole lot of space with what we put out in there with the King Coaster plushies, and we're going to label the bottom row there with the backpacks. Pretty standard for us. Thought about the koala, but we go with the backpack instead. Probably the smarter play. So we do finish this little exit building, right? And we do some other minor changes to the ride as far as painting it and kind of getting it re-themed, or continue the theming, I guess you could say. And so we continue all of that out. And really, I love how this thing comes together in the end. It really fits within its ride, and it kind of fits with how we're designing the park in terms of, no, it's not massive themed sections. What it really is, and what it really comes out to being is going to be just overall, a themed ride in and of itself. Not a themed section of the park, but just a themed ride in total. So that's how we kind of get this set up. And like I said, it comes out incredibly well for us. It's something that I think really brings this ride together once we do get corrected, put in, and so forth. Now I measured the height width with the person right there that's standing there at the right entrance. It's definitely tall enough. I do put in the glass windows just to kind of close that out, kept the one side open for the people exiting the ride, and do some other minor little adjustments to this exit building. Like I said, it's a smaller one, it's nothing too extensive, but I really like how this thing turns out here all around. Now, like I said, we are going to make some coloring changes. Right now everything is white. The couple of COBRA statues that we have there are green. So we will actually change a lot of that stuff over and actually not just do lighting on this building, but overall do lighting on the actual ride in and of itself. So we started putting those little lights in, in the last episode. You can really see how things light up the area, and I really like how that turns out. I think it's the best way to kind of do some lighting in there, since the lights aren't very effective. All the ones we hung up on the wall in that smaller building, you can see still couldn't even really light up the whole thing. So this is just kind of the painstaking process we go through of changing these little COBRA statues around. I do realize there are probably easier ways to get that done, but so be it. I did it the way I chose to do it, and that's just life in and of itself. I kept a couple gold ones though back that are on the actual ride. Kept those gold. So got that going for us, right? We do a lot of the lighting of the station house, and that's where these area light things come into play. Just sink them down below, and that's where they give off most of their light, knowing the ride is going to be green. It was kind of surprising to me while doing this that it turned out so well in reality, but we do finish up some of the lighting here. And then you will definitely get POV of the finished completed ride at the end of the episode, right? I know you got some before, but we will see the POV of the ride at night, and then you also get it during the daytime. And that ride just turns out to be a beautiful addition once we get this thing finalized. And then this ride sign for it will be completely custom made. It is going to be kind of the TV screen. I'm not sure if we're going to incorporate some more of the lighting and so forth. We probably will. I don't see how we couldn't, But hey, it's what we are going to do. It's going to be, I really like how this thing is turning out. And so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'll hop off on here for a minute because I'm pretty sure y'all are tired of hearing the sultry sounds of my voice as we finish up some of the final detailing for this ride. But I will be back as we continue to work on the entrance plaza to kind of go over what's happening there when that construction does happen. So I will see y'all at that time, everybody. So I'll be right back. And I am back, everybody, as you can now see the second iteration of this little food court plaza section. I didn't want this entrance plaza to be completely, closed in by buildings, right? Yeah, I wanted to have enough buildings there, obviously, but I didn't want it to be completely closed in. So I did make this plaza to where we have kind of a seating place there at the front of it. So this building kind of sits back just slightly. One, it fills a little bit more space up, but two, it also kind of, I think, really fits in with everything that we have going on in this section of the park right here in the entrance plaza. Originally went with that limestone kind of stuff, but with the other building across the way being brick, kind of had to match it and go with a brick face here. It just didn't make much sense looking at it with the limestone. We are putting up some decorations. One, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I love those little poster things that they have. I wish they had more of them. We'll probably start creating our own as we go throughout the park, just kind of like we do with the ride signs as well. But just putting up some of the regular signs here, then we're going to get some lighting going. And you may be asking yourself, well, what are we going to fill in all that blank space with as far as the open areas between the building and the actual little pathing area sections? Well, the one on the bottom area is going to be kind of a seating area. The one up top, it's really just kind of a come and go type of setup. So that's really what we are looking at here in that sense, is kind of getting that stuff done in that way. And so it looks like right now the screen is frozen. I promise y'all it's not frozen. This was all done on a live stream, and apparently I forgot to edit this short little portion out. But I had to deal with something off camera, and during a live stream you can't just, let's just stop it. I probably could have switched the interfaces over to show the opening screen, but chose not to. Either way, it is what it is. It's done. It's over with. So we're back at it. I dealt with what I had to deal with, and we kind of moved on about our day. And we moved on with this build, right? I was going to originally think about, taking some of those brick pillars between the buildings and kind of angling them out to where it matched up the stair level, filled in the gaps, and looked pretty decent. What I decided to do in the end was say, let's go ahead and put up some planting, right? One of the bigger things I've realized, especially primarily with my Planet Zoo series that I do have going on right now, is, that Planet Zoo series called Austin Zoo and Gardens. So filling in a lot of stuff with planting around. And I truly think that in this type of situation, that is what we would see, is more planters happening, plants being thrown out there, filling up the space. So that's kind of what we're looking at doing here. Now, are we going for a multi-level planter, kind of like we did with our quarry section down there? No, not really multi-level. It's all about the same level in reality. But it fills in the space to provide for the different levels of the pathing that's going in. And it adds more color to it. And you gotta like having more color added in. It just brings the area together. I truly do believe that. And how do we fill in the gap with these curved paths? Well, we are going to put in some rock work. And it's not something that I think would be too far-fetched. In reality, you would have to dig into the ground. And at a spot, living in Austin where I live, there's pretty much, you go a few inches, you're going to hit pure rock. And so essentially it's kind of in terms of you start digging up the ground there to put in all this pathing network, to put in the supports for the building, for the plaza section. You might run into some rocks, so you make your adjustments instead of taking dynamite to it. All right, build on top of the rock. Let's shape this thing out, use it to our advantage. So that's what we were doing there. Now these are originally thought were rose bushes. They are just regular red bushes. Those are the actual rose bushes going in. I do change the colors of them just to break it up. Don't always want red roses, red flowers. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's change up the color scheme some. And so that's what we kind of do here and get these plants put in. I didn't want to have too many trees there to block it off. I did want at least the one, so we had some shading, but not too many. I thought about putting a fountain in this area. but it just didn't work. So I just made it kind of a standard little seating section. Put benches on the upper level, but the actual seats down below, with the bench, I guess the park tables or what, picnic tables, and then the covers right there as well. And I think this really brought this area together, kind of made it whole as it was. Looking at the staff, Levi Hilliard, all of our staff look pretty depressed, and it's because I haven't actually put in a staff building yet. I might end up doing that in one of these points, just hide one in somewhere. Problem is, you can't stop people from walking down paths without putting these little barriers up like you see right there in that section. So it'll be one of those, kind of have to wait and see how I actually do it to try to prevent, I guess, the standard peeps from walking down those paths that the employees would walk down. So yeah, that's my one concern with doing that. Now you're going to see what kind of looks like hopping back and forth. That's just how live streams tend to go. And as I'm looking at this thing, the whole back of this building is the lime plaster. I'm starting to wonder if I left it like that, and I may have to go back and change it at some point off camera. But yeah, I do kind of jump around during a live stream. That happens. You know, it is what it is. So we do fill in some blank spaces here, really. That's just kind of what we're doing in this at this point. This is going to be kind of a backstage type of area. We are going to fence it off for staff only. We're going to put some garbage cans back there. And that's really all that we're doing. Is it's one of those, let's fill in some of this space, and then we'll deal with kind of closing it out and making it purposeful, right? So that's really what we're doing at this time, is kind of getting that set up. Now, we are about a minute or so away from the POV ride of the COBRA, our B&M Invert, the nighttime with the fully lighted, as well as the daytime ride that we're going to go through. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm going to go ahead and leave y'all off here so you can enjoy the finished parts of this build for this entrance plaza section as we kind of continue working on this park and really bringing it to life. And I'm truly enjoying how it's coming together, and thanking y'all for all the support that we are receiving during this park build. The last video hitting around 100 views. Ecstatic for me. Couldn't believe it, to be honest with you, when I saw it. So thank y'all very much for all that support. Really has shown. Like I said, put into the comments for the name of the swing ride down below and that other little circle type ride. Put that in the comments. Let me know what y'all want to name it. Let's get everybody involved in this awesome park build. And I'm going to go ahead and leave y'all off here. Like I said, POV coming up in about a minute or so. So definitely stay tuned. Enjoy that. And I will see y'all in the live stream on what's going to be Saturday, March 9th, everybody. All right, I will see y'all in that live stream. So as always, stay safe. And well, y'all know how it goes by now, right? Later, y'all.